All right, everybody. So here we are looking at the Green Bay Packer football math sheet. And so the first question reads as the quarterback throwing 13 passes, each pass for 7 yards. How many yards total? So we have 13, each pass is for 7 yards, so we can multiply. And then we can do 7 times 3 to get 21. Write my 1 down, carry my 2. 7 times 10 gives me 70, plus my 20. I have 91 yards. Move on to the next question. We have during the first quarter, the Packers offense rushed for 56 yards, and then the quarterback was sacked once for a loss of 9 yards. So since it's a loss of 9 yards, instead of adding that to my total, I'm going to subtract it. And that's going to bring me to a net gain of 47 yards. All right, so we have a family went to watch the Packers play, and they bought 2 hot dogs for $5 each. So 2 times 5. They bought 1 pretzel for $6. They bought 3 drinks for $3 each. And they bought peanuts for $2.50. And 2 candy bars for $1.25 each. So 2 times $1.25. How much money did they spend in total? So here we're going to go ahead and do what's in the parentheses. So we have 2 times 5 to get 10. And then we still have that plus 6. And then we have 3 times 3 to get 9. Plus $2.50. Plus 2 times $1.25, which would be $2.50 as well. And so here we can add these all together. We could do 10 plus 6 to get 16, plus 9 to get 25, plus $2.50 to get $27.50, plus another $2.50 to get $30 in total. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down and look at the next problem. All right, question number 4. It says the Green Bay Packers play 16 home games in a regular season. Half of their games are at home. How many home games do they have? So 16 in a regular season. Half of them are at home. So I can just do 16 divided by 2 because that would be half. That's going to give me 8 home games. Now we're looking at question 5. Packers had 234 passing yards and 113 rushing yards in their first game. The Packers also had 256 passing yards and 96 rushing yards in the last game. What game did they have more yards in? How many more yards? So we have the first game on the left side in pink, and we have the last game on the right side in blue. And so here we're actually just going to compare the total yards in each of these games. So I'm going to have a greater than or less than sign, or maybe an equal sign. So let's go ahead and do what's in pink first. 234 plus 113. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up. 4 plus 3 gives me 7. 3 plus 1 gives me 4. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. So in one game, they had 347 total yards. And in the other game, we have 6 plus 6 gives me 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 9 equals 15, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 gives me 3. The other game we had 352 yards. So which one is greater here, 352 or 347? In this case, 352 is going to be greater. And by how many more yards? Well, I could subtract 347 from 352 and know that it is 5 yards more. So there's an inequality problem. Now we're looking at problem 6. Each quarter of the Green Bay Packers game is 15 minutes. If they play 4 quarters, how many minutes do they play in all? So here I'm going to do 15 times 4, the number of quarters, to get 60 minutes. Now we're looking at question 7. How many minutes do the Green Bay Packers play in all 16 games? So here I'm using what I got from question 6, which is 60 minutes in a game, to figure out how many minutes are in their entire season. So here I'm going to do 16 games multiplied by 60 minutes for each game. And this is a little tough at first, right? But what I can do is temporarily take away this 0. And now my problem reads 6 times 16. So I can do 6 times 6 to get 36, carry my 3. Now I'm going to do 6 times 10 to get 60, plus my 30, right, because I carried my 3. And that's going to give me 90. So 96. And then remember, I took away this 0 for a bit, but I can go ahead and throw that 0 back on. So now it says 960 minutes in the entire season. All right, now we're going to look at problem 8 here. The Green Bay Packers kicker scored 27 points by kicking field goals. So that's my total. Each field goal is worth 3 points. How many field goals did he kick? So here I'm going to have to divide it by the number each field goal is worth to figure out that he kicked 9 field goals. Now we're looking at question 9. Packers scored 4 touchdowns and extra points, which are worth 7 points each. And 2 field goals, which are each worth 3 points. So here we have the touchdowns, which would be 4 times 7, plus the number of field goals, which would be 3 times 2, because I scored 2 field goals. So it's going to be 28 plus 6, which is going to give them a final score of 34 points. Moving on to question 10. If there are 75,412 fans in Lambeau Field, what is the value of the 5 in this number? So I'm going to go ahead and underline the 5. What is the value of this? In other words, we think about place value. We have our ones, our tens, our hundreds. So when we get to that 5, that's going to be our thousandths. All right? So this would be 5,000. Now we're looking at question 11. Packers practice for 3 hours a day for 4 days a week. How many total minutes do they practice? So here it gives me hours. Now it's asking for minutes. So I'm going to go ahead first and do 3 times 60 to figure out my minutes. And that's going to give me 180, right? We can do 3 times 6 to get 18, and then just throw that 0 on. So we have 180. And now it's asking for 4 days a week, so we're going to do 180 times 4. Again, we can get rid of that 0 for a moment, make the problem a little bit easier. So now we have 18 times 4. 4 times 8 gives me 32, carry my 3. 4 times 1 gives me 4, plus that 3, 72. Throw that 0 back on, and that'd be 320 total minutes. Question 12. There are 15 coaches for the Green Bay Packers. What are the factors of 15? Is it prime or composite? Now, when we hear the word prime, we know that that's a number that can only be divided by itself and 1. So in other words, if 15 was prime, that means the factors would be only 1 and 15. If it's composite, on the other hand, that means that there are other factors that go into 15. So are there other numbers that we could divide 15 by? Let's see. Can 1, can 2, can't. 3? Yeah, I think 3 can, right? Because I can do 3 times 5. So since 3 and 5 are factors of 15, then therefore the number would be composite, and my factors would be the ones listed here. 1, 15, 3, and 5. All right, looking at question 3. The Green Bay Packers started their game at 4:25, and it lasted 3 hours and 12 minutes. So here we are starting at 4:25 on the clock, and then we're going to have to add 3 hours and 12 minutes. So looking at 5 plus 2, we get 7. 2 plus 1, we get 3. 4 plus 3, we get 7. So the game would end at 7:37 p.m. at night. Pretty typical if you're on the East Coast. And then we're looking at question 14 and 15, the last two problems we have here. It says the Packers had 3 sacks in each of their 16 games. How many sacks do they have at the end of the season? So here, 3 sacks for each of the 16 games. So we're going to multiply. And if we do 3 times 6, we're going to get 18. So I'm going to write my 8, carry my 1. 3 times 1, that's going to be 3. Plus my 1 is going to give me 4. So we have 48 sacks in the 16 games. And now we have an average problem here at the bottom. It says the Green Bay Packers offensive linemen wore numbers 52, 43, 69, 74, 78, and 50. What is the average of their numbers? Well, here what we would have to do is we'd have to add up 52 plus 43 plus 69 plus 74 plus 78 plus 50. And so we're going to take that number and divide it by the number that we have here in the problem. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers that we'd be dividing by. That's how we find our average. So here we're going to get 61 as a final answer. That's our mean or our average. All right. Hopefully this video helped. Please let me know if you have any further questions. Otherwise, the answer key is attached. This is just a how to solve. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Go Pack, go.